Retail bakeries and commercial bakeries all need some elements of property insurance to protect their buildings, inventory, machinery, work in progress, and other issues we're going to discuss in this video. I'll talk about some of the common mistakes and oversights we see when reviewing property policies for bakeries in just a minute. Hi, I'm Gordon Coyle. Welcome to my channel where we talk about the risk and insurance issues on the minds of business owners. As an expert business insurance broker, these videos are intended to help guide and educate decision makers to help make you a more informed insurance buyer. If I don't answer the question on your mind that brought you to this video, reach out and let's connect. I'd love to hear from you. Okay, so let's start off with what property insurance is at a very high level for bakeries. Property insurance is intended to repair or replace different property elements or subjects when they are damaged by a covered peril. The common elements or subjects include building, contents, machinery and equipment, work in progress, finished goods, and loss of income. Ancillary to these elements that are covered on separate policies are goods in transit and equipment breakdown coverage. When it comes to property insurance, there are a handful of variables that need to be thought through to avoid problems if a claim occurs down the road. These policy variables include proper limits of coverage, valuation clauses, co-insurance clauses, and the perils insured against, including flood and quake. Now you may be thinking, what is this guy talking about? Subjects, elements, variables. I just need insurance for my bakery. Can't this be simplified? I get that, but I wanted to explain some of these issues because they often get glossed over in an attempt to just get a quote. And I understand that everyone is busy and in a rush, and when it comes to business insurance, you don't want to invest a lot of time or brain cycles to understanding all of this. The point I'm getting to is that crafting a property policy, or for that matter, all the parts of a business insurance program for a bakery can be complex. And oversimplifying it can lead to problems down the road when a claim occurs. So, how do you balance getting these property elements right without making yourself nuts? Oh, I'm glad you asked. That's where the role of a skilled broker like the Coyle Group steps in to help decipher your needs and build the appropriate coverage parts into your policies so you're protected. Our job is to take the collective years of experience on our team to make sure you've got the right protection at the right price, and we work with dozens of the top-rated insurance companies to be sure no stone is left unturned in that process. If that sounds like something you want, then reach out and let's chat. My contact info is in the description box below, and we'd love to hear from you. Now, if you want more details on property insurance for bakeries, I'm going to continue. So, what are the key deficiencies we see in property insurance for bakeries most often? The first one is underinsurance on buildings and contents. Too often, bakery owners will underestimate the value of their buildings and contents, and that may occur because the insurance broker doesn't have a serious renewal process to probe into the limits of coverage, or the baker doesn't want to increase premiums, so they figure, just renew it as it was. The obvious downside to that is that if there's a loss, the recovery is going to be really difficult. One solution on buildings is to have an appraisal done every 5, 6, 7 years or so, just to be certain that you're carrying the right limits of coverage. The second mistake we see most often is loss of income coverage is understated or incorrectly characterized. Loss of income used to be called business interruption insurance, which I think is actually a better term. And what we often see with larger commercial bakeries is that the stated limit of protection for business income is incorrectly calculated, or the coverage form deployed is incorrect. For smaller retail bakeries that are insured on a BOP policy, they get actual loss sustained coverage, so this really isn't a big deal. But on the commercial bakeries, the way you fix limits and forms is to complete a business income worksheet each year with your broker to be certain you're building in the right cost and duration of potential recovery time following a claim. Number 3 is spoilage coverage. Inventory and raw materials that are refrigerated need to be insured against spoilage that can occur due to loss of electricity like blackouts or from failure of refrigeration equipment. These two different elements that need to be coordinated in your package policy and equipment breakdown policy. Flood and earthquake coverage is number 4. It's never going to happen. We've been in this location for 40 years and we've never had a flood. That's sort of what I hear when I bring up the subject of broadening the insured perils on a property policy for a bakery. And I get it. Why spend money on insurance for a risk you've never experienced? Well, the answer is because flooding is more common than it's ever been, and changing weather patterns will create conditions to flood areas that may have never seen flooding before. In my opinion, it's worth seeing what the costs are to add flood and quake to your bakery property insurance program and determine if it's worth it. So, those are the top 4 issues we often see as deficiencies in property insurance for bakeries. Keep in mind that this is just the property section of a bakery policy. There are often 5 to 10 other policies that bakeries will purchase, so there's a lot of gaps and deficiencies to worry about. How do you make sure you're covering your bases when it comes to protecting your commercial bakery? I think the answer is to work with a skilled broker, like the Coyle Group, who understands the risks you face in protecting what is likely your biggest personal asset, your business. We'll take the time to talk you through these issues, to identify problems in your current insurance, and how to fix them, and then shop the marketplace for you from the dozens of highly rated insurers we work with to get you the best deal. The result is a highly customized insurance program designed specifically for you, based on your needs and your issues. If this sounds like something you want to do to be sure you're protected, then reach out and let's chat. My contact info is in the description box below, and I'd love to hear from you. There's no obligation, and I promise if you call, no high pressure sales nonsense, just a conversation to see if we're a good fit for you and your business insurance needs. Thanks for watching this whole rather long video. I hope it was valuable content, and if it was, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Thanks.